So, welcome. So, I invite you to start by finding a comfortable position to sit in and softening or closing your eyes and tuning in. Tuning in to how you feel today. Notice your breath. Notice how fast or slow it is, deep or shallow. And notice your body, scan your body. Start at your toes and feet, your legs, your hips, your belly, your chest and shoulders, arms and hands, neck and head. And scan again, go back to the toes, but wiggle them a little bit. And the feet, just move them a little bit. Notice how it feels to move them. And the legs, just a little, just slight micro movements. And the hips. And the belly. And the chest, moving the rib cage. The shoulders. Your arms, hands, fingers, neck and head. Notice the slightest sensations and how one triggers another. These are the things that we don't notice most of the day. And then come to lying down. Stretching out on the mat, stretching out your legs, letting your arms rest down by your side, maybe with the palms up. Have an inhale and sweep the arms up and overhead. And exhale, bring them back down again. And again, inhale up and overhead. Exhale and release. One more, inhale up and overhead, and this time leave your arms there. And on the next inhale, stretch through the fingertips and flex the feet. Push out through the bottom of the feet, through the heels. And on the exhale, soften. Inhale and stretch. Exhale and soften. One more. Inhale and stretch. Exhale and bring the arms all the way back down to by your side. Bring the knees into the chest. You may need to put your feet flat on the mat and lift your hips and reposition your back, but bring your knees into your chest. Have a little rock, side to side. And then come to stillness, but keep your hands on your knees. This is Apanasana, as you know. And just notice how the legs move. Inhale, they move away a little as the belly fills, and there's a sense of the belly pushing the legs a bit. Exhale, they come back. Inhale away. Exhale back. Let that left foot come flat to the mat and flex the right foot. And we'll take our first pigeon, reclined pigeon. So take that right ankle across the left knee. Find the pigeon that's right for you. So either keep the left foot flat or lift it and even hold behind the thigh. Keeping the foot flexed to protect your right knee. And release. And swap sides. Right foot flat to the mat. Left foot is flexed. Left ankle to right knee. And lift the foot off the floor again if you wish, holding behind the right thigh. And release. Stretch your legs out again, all the way out. Flex the feet and take the hands back overhead, coming into a full body stretch again. Release. Knees back into the chest and let them drop over to the right side. Sweep that left hand over the body and open out across the chest as you inhale. Exhale, take it back over and closed. Sweep it out again. Exhale, take it back. Third time, stay there. Sweep it out and let that left shoulder sink down to the mat, taking your gaze maybe to the left hand. And then on the next inhale, take that left hand and sweep it all the way back up and over. Push back to center. I'll just scooch over slightly and take the knees back into the chest and then drop them over to the left side. On the inhale, sweep that right hand out and across. On the exhale, take it back. Inhale it out. Exhale it back. Third time, stay there. Inhale it out. Sink your shoulders to the mat. Taking the gaze to that hand. Try and soften. Sweep that hand all the way back and then push back to center. Bring the knees back into the chest again and have a little rock side to side. Then take the hands under the knees and rock and roll to come up to seated. Sitting on a cushion or a block, if you wish, if that's more comfortable for you. Try and line up your heels. If that's not comfortable, don't worry. If you have difficulty, you're probably better off raising your hips a little bit by sitting on something. But you're lining them up so you're even on your sit bones. Then inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale and release. And then do that to the right. Inhale up. Exhale back to center. Inhale to the left. And back to center. One more each side. Inhale right. Back to center. Inhale left. Back to center. Just pause. Notice. Then take some shoulder rolls. Up, down and back. And visualize how your shoulder blades are going together down your spine. Change direction. Just notice how the joints warm through. And come to rest again. We'll take some side stretches here. So first, take the left hand down to the mat. Inhale, bring the right arm up and over. And notice that sensation through the side of the ribs. Inhale, back across. Opposite side. Inhale, up and over. Come back. And just take a bit of a flow there, side to side. Breathe as it feels comfortable to you. But just keeping some fluidity to the movement. But then paying attention to the shifts in sensation that you can feel. And again, seeing if it's different, one side or the other. And then one more each side, and we'll meet back in center. We're going to go to tabletop 4-point kneeling pose. Okay. Just check that you're pushing into your fingertips and you haven't got all the pressure on your wrist. So from here, we're going to inhale forward slightly. Exhale back and down to child's pose. Inhale back to tabletop. Take the hands a little in front. Tuck the toes. Hover the knees. And send the sit bones up into your downward facing dog. Then drop back to the knees. And push back to child's pose. We'll do that again. Come up to tabletop. Tuck the toes. Hover the knees. Sit bones back and up. Downward facing dog. Back down to your knees and untuck the toes, back to child's pose. One more. Up to tabletop, tuck the toes, hover the knees, sit bones up and back, downward facing dog. This time stay for a few breaths. Maybe pedal your feet. And remember that lengthening through the spine. Your ears should be framed by your arms. You're sinking your chest down, but not pushing it right the way through. And then come back down to your knees and push back to child's pose. Pause. Notice. Maybe walk your hands over to the right side, increasing that stretch down the left side. Maybe walk your hands back through centre to the left side, increasing that stretch down the right. Come back to centre, and it's your choice, but take your knees wider if you wish, coming into a wide-legged child's pose, sinking the chest to the mat and dropping the forehead. And try and soften the body as much as possible. If this is not comfortable for you, stay in the version that is right for you. It most definitely isn't about how it looks, and it is about how it feels. And breathe. And walk the hands back, bring the knees back to hip width and come back to tabletop. So, take the hands forward a little bit, tuck the toes under, hover the knees and come back up to your downward facing dog. But from here, we're going to raise the right leg into the air, coming into three-legged dog. Try and keep the toes pointed down to the ground and the hips even. You're not trying to open up at the hips. And then step that right leg through the hands, doesn't matter how it gets there, and drop the back knee. So you're going to come up into a low lunge. You can untuck that back toe if you wish and rise up into a low lunge, sinking the hips low. And breathe. Then take the hands back to the mat, but on the inside of that right foot, and scooch your right foot to the edge of the mat. So we're coming into a lizard. From your lizard here, come back onto the back toes. You've got a choice. You can either keep your knee down or you can lift it up. Take the hands to heart center and then reach them overhead into arrow. Drop the knee into passive lizard. Lift the knee, active lizard. One more. Drop the knee, passive. Lift, active. Hands back to the mat. Release that right foot back to join the left, coming into a plank, but lower the knees so you're in half plank. Shift forwards and lower to the mat. Just pause a moment, hands across each other under your forehead, turn out the toes, coming into a version of crocodile, giving you a little rest. Then come up onto your forearms and we'll come into a sphinx. So elbows under the shoulders, hands flat on the mat, sort of pulling towards you. Inhale and lift through the chest. Exhale and soften. Inhale and lift. Exhale and soften. One more. Inhale and lift. And release. Take the hands under the shoulders. Push all the way back as though you were heading to child's pose, but send the sit bones back and up, coming back to your downward facing dog. Lift the left foot. Three-legged dog. Step that left foot through, however it gets there. Drop the knee. Rise up. Low lunge. And breathe. Take the hands to the mat on the inside and walk that right foot out a little. Tuck the back toes if they're not tucked already. And rise up, taking that knee off the mat. Take the hands to heart center. You've got a bit of a balance there. And then out overhead with your arrow. Drop the knee, passive. Lift it, active. Drop, passive. Lift it, active. Hands to the mat. Release that left foot. Coming down to plank, half plank, shift forwards, lower, find your crocodile. You've deserved it, you earned it. And breathe. And take the hands under the shoulders and push all the way back to child's pose. Okay, come back up to tabletop, take the hands forward, tuck the toes, sit bones to the sky, downward facing dog. Walk your feet to your hands to your feet. First coming into a ragdoll, having the knees bent as much as you need. Maybe take a hold of the opposite elbows and just swing a little side to side. And breathe. Release the hands, generously bend the knees, lengthen through the spine, sweep the arms up, coming back, up and into chair. Utkatasana. Switching on those quad muscles. Maybe take the hands to heart center. Maybe coming onto your tiptoes. And maybe down again. And once more up. And down. And release. Let's take a little swing. Just side to side. And make it intuitive. Follow what your body wants. Notice if you're getting any of that uncreasing through the spine, through the back of the chest. And come to standing. Soften or close your eyes. Pause and notice how you feel. We're going to have a warrior flow. Okay, let's step the feet out. About a leg and a half. Turn the left toes to the short edge of the mat. We're coming into warrior two, but take a hug. Then sweep out the arms, coming into your warrior two. Remember to turn the toes in a little on the right and bend the left knee. Gaze through that middle finger. Release back to your hug. And sweep out. Warrior two. One more. Release back to your hug. And sweep out. Warrior two. And now you've got strength in your warrior. Shift a little to the left. Straighten that left knee and turn into Trikonasana triangle. Or extended triangle, your choice. But tune into the sensations down the side of the body. Don't let the shoulder fall in. Spiral that chest open. Take your gaze up to your hand if you wish. And breathe. Take that right hand down to the side of the left leg, turning the body towards that left foot. Try and keep that left leg sort of straight, not locked, and take the left hand up to the ceiling. This is a revolved triangle. And breathe. Release the left hand. Place it on the thigh for stability, if you wish. And take that right hand back to the ceiling, releasing the left hand in front of the leg back to your triangle. And breathe. Then generously bend the knee and rise up. Warrior two. Release the legs, turn the feet forwards. Soften the knees and come into a wide-legged forward fold. If you need a block here, please have one. Rest your hands or your head. And allow the hinge at the hips to let you fall as low as you wish. Then either have your hands on the block or the floor. Inhale and lengthen through the spine, coming into a flat back. Exhale and fold. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale and fold. One more. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale and fold. Bring the heels in so that the toes are pointed out. Generously bend the knees into your goddess legs. Cactus the arms and rise up into goddess. Maybe pulsing a little. And release. Have a little shake out. And just notice how you feel. Okay. Come back. Take the feet out again. Turn the right toes to the short edge of the mat. And take your hug. Sweep the arms out. Warrior two. Release and take your hug. Sweep out. Warrior two. Last one. Take that hug. Release. Warrior two. Shift a little. Straighten and turn into triangle. Trikonasana and breathe. And here we go, a little bit of fun. Take that left hand down to near the right foot. You can even use a block here. Reach the right hand up to the ceiling, taking your gaze up towards that right hand. And breathe. And wobble. Release that right hand, resting it on the thigh if you wish, to turn and bring the left hand back up to the sky, dropping the right hand, coming back into your triangle. Generously bend the knee and rise back up. Warrior two. Straighten the legs. Parallel feet. Soft knees coming back down to a wide-legged forward fold. And breathe. Maybe hang like a rag doll, holding the opposite elbows, and then just bend and stretch a little side to side. And then, if you wish, I invite you to take your hands out and behind you and interlace the fingers so that you're sort of lifting through the chest, but your chest's heading to the mat. Squeezing the shoulder blades together, taking the hands as high as you wish. And breathe. Release the hands back down. Turn the feet out. Generously bend the knees. Cactus the arms and rise back up into goddess. Maybe coming onto your toes, one at a time for wobbly goddess. And release. Take the feet out. Bring them in a little bit, but point the toes out. Soften the knees. You know what's coming, don't you? Soften the knees. Lengthen through the spine. Hinge at the hips. Hands down to the mat. Sink your hips down into Malasana. Yogi squat. Lifting through the chest. And breathe. If you have any trouble at all, place folded blankets under your heels. You don't want to be on your tiptoes or sit on a block. Then take your hands to the mat and come to tabletop. Just push back into child's pose for a moment. Pause. Notice. Come to seated. And we'll take a butterfly, soles of the feet together, hands to the ankles, lift through the chest, long spine, hinge at the hips. Just letting your head drop last. And breathe. And take your hands to the mat and rise back up. Now, we haven't finished yet, but what we're doing now is a bit slower. So if you wish to add on another layer, including socks, please do. Take your awareness back to your breath, your body. Take some balancing breath here. So inhale to a count of 4 and exhale to a count of 4. Inhale for 4. Exhale for 4. Inhale for 4. Exhale for 4. Inhale for 4. Exhale for 4. And just allow your breath to return to its natural rhythm. Let your hands come down to the mat, either side of you. On the next inhale, sweep them up and overhead, bringing the hands together down through heart center. Thank yourself for this practice today.